Cancer, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early April 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancerians. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the Cancer collective here in early April? We're changing the seasons. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see who might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer. Please, let's get this first card out nice and quick. What do we got for our friends? What's the vibe? Okay, this card always makes me chuckle. I think the imagery is funny because we have this lady here with a tree growing out of her head. Now, there's a lot of symbolism here. It's beautiful. It's knowledgeable, very active in the imagination and the mind. It's a studious type of energy, and there's a lot of cool layers to this that make it different. It's just funny with a lady growing a tree out of her head. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card. So as you can see, it looks kind of simple, but there's a lot of layers here. We have the lovely lady in the dress with the tree, and not only is the tree growing out of her head, it's bearing fruit, which is a good thing. There's all these books surrounding her, so yeah, there's little undertones of communication possibly with the written word, but I feel like there's a lot of great mental energy when it comes to this. Now, for a lot of Cancers, this could be fantastic for problem solving, ideas, thinking outside of the box. Like, there's a strong connection to the mind with this card. Now, that could be good. That could also be challenging. So again, for some of you, this could be very creative. So you might want to get those creative juices flowing. So whether it's doing art, music, writing, just something to express yourself, it's really good. This is fantastic for learning things, absorbing knowledge, learning any new thing as well. Feeding the mind is super important. So for a lot of Cancers, what you consume has a big effect on what happens in your regular life. But I would say with this card, just watch out with the overthinking with this. I mean, easier said than done, right? But try your best not to overthink certain situations. But we're going to leave her there for now. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say the first card here doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my Cancer friends. What's happening in early April? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Pretty good energy. I mean, it was a little volatile, but in a good way. The reading was titled A Shocking Win. You had a tower, but it was a good tower for the most part. Now, you know, tower energy is, you know, it shakes things up. It's like very jarring. So just know this energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. There could be like little ripple effects after the fact. But I feel for a lot of you, if a win hasn't come your way, whether it's money, work, personal relationships, just keep your eyes peeled because that energy could be coming soon. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it is for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for my Cancer friends. What's happening in early April? Okay, lovers, partnerships. Very interesting. I do like that. It's an angelic energy. It's pretty smooth. For some of you, partnerships, super important when this card is here, but that's not the be-all, end-all with the lovers. Don't let the name fool you. Let's get a couple more. What do we have here for Cancer? Okay. Whoa, okay. So another really positive card. So we are starting off on the right foot. I could most definitely say that. With the 6 of Wands right in the center. Let's get one more out here and we'll see what's up. Nice and quick. Okay, all right. We have the 9 of Wands right here on the back end. So we do have a little something that's going to raise an eyebrow. I love the elemental mixture for the most part. But yeah, we're going to need to look into this a little further, Cancer. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know I always look at the elements first because I believe that's important to tell us how the energy is moving and what areas of life it might be affecting us. We have a lot of fire here. Okay. And remember, I said last week you had a tower, but it was a good tower. Could be a similar thing going on here, because with all this fire energy, that's the realm of action, motivation, lots of passion with this, wanting to make things go, right? Like, I want to do this, I want to do it now. We have air with the lovers, that's Gemini energy. So when you mix the fire and air, it could be very explosive. Now, the good thing about that, you could get results very quick. But the rough thing about a fire air mixture is the volatility, the explosiveness. It could be a little unpredictable. So it's going to be interesting to see. We have very smooth energy here in the front, but then this Nine of Wands comes along on the back end. It's like, what's going on there? Why is that wall built? It's a very skeptical type of energy. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out. Position number one, we are starting with the lovers. Now, like I mentioned, it's Gemini energy. You might be connected to Gemini, maybe you have Gemini placements. And obviously the lovers, it could represent people that we're close to. Now, for some of you, sure, it could be a romantic partner, a literal lover. But when I see the lovers, I think of soul ties, soul connections, whether that's friends, family members, just anyone that you have a very close energetic bond with. So we might be seeing their energy when we clarify it. It could be telling us something about the relationship itself. For some Cancers, relationships might be the priority in this time. The lovers back in the day used to be called the choice. So sometimes it could be a crossroads of some sort, like, all right, we're either going to go this way or go that way. But notice it has the Archangel Raphael there. That's the Archangel of healing. So if you're not worried about any love sort of things, like, this is a very smooth, silky, easy flowing, easy going type of energy. So I like to start off with it, and beautiful angelic energies too, which is very protective. Now, moving over to the center, I mean, the challenge, just to get into the challenge of the lovers, again, all cards have positives and negatives. The challenge of this, it could be disharmony or tension between you and somebody. And a challenge of this card could sometimes just represent being indecisive or feeling stuck. Now, moving to the center, we have the Six of Wands. Beautiful energy. This is a card of complete and total victory. That's why, like, the Nine of Wands is a little, I don't want to say confusing, but I'm like, what are you doing there? Because all this energy on the front end seems to be going well. It seems to be going smooth. So hopefully you haven't had anything going on where it's like, okay, everything's cool, everything's fine. And then boom, this Nine of Wands shows up. We'll get to that in a minute. But the Six of Wands, to me, again, complete and total victory. This is a great card for notoriety, whether it's public notoriety or within your circle. This is a card that grabs a lot of attention. So just know you might have more eyes on you than you think you do. Maybe there's something or someone you need to pay a little bit more attention to. That's very possible when the Six of Wands is here. This could be getting recognition, gaining kudos for the things that you've done. So I really do enjoy it whenever this energy shows up. But a challenge with this card could be the ego, right? So whether it's an egotistical person you're connected to, and they could never be wrong, they could never say sorry, like one of those things. For some of you, it could be Spirit saying, be confident, but don't be cocky. That's a big thing with this card too. So we'll see. I'm getting good vibes off it initially, so I don't feel like it's anything to really worry about, but we're definitely going to need to get a little bit more detail, especially with what we have coming up next to it. So we go from the Six of Wands, all this smooth energy, to the Nine of Wands. Now, this card isn't only just problematic, it's not all bad. I'll give you the positives first. This could represent someone that's very protective, okay, a little territorial. So there may be someone or something where it's like, I need to protect this. I need to keep this safe. Okay, so whether it's at home or family, you just apply it to whatever your situation is. This is a card of skepticism. When I see this card, it's somebody who knows a thing or two. They've been through a few things, and it's like, all right, well, I've been through things. I'm pretty street smart when it comes to this card. So I do like it because it's on guard. Now, it does have some big challenges too. It can represent blockages in communication. It can represent problems with people. It can represent roadblocks and barriers. So when we go from this smooth energy to the Nine of Wands, it was like, all right, everything was great. Everything was fine. Boom. Now we have this problem show up or situation. So we'll want to look into this further. The harshest aspect of this card could either be blocking people outright, or it could be rejections. So whether it's rejecting a behavior, rejecting a thought process, rejecting a person, rejecting a habit, to me, it's like, no, I'm pushing that away. I'm pushing that away. So we're just going to have to see what's up with it. I mean, it doesn't have to be a terrible thing. It could just be Spirit telling you to keep an eye on certain things, especially with the Six of Wands next to it. But I want to dive deeper on all the Cancer. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Let's get a good shuffle here for my good friends. What's happening? Guides, what do we got? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Lovers. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Lovers time. What's happening? What is happening? Okay, cool. All right. So we do have the Eight of Wands in reverse underneath the Lovers. This could be good for a couple reasons, but it could also be challenging. So take your pick, because I'm getting a couple of different energies here. Now, when I see the Lovers with the Eight of Wands in reverse, beware and watch out of miscommunications with people, especially the ones that you're closest with, where you might say something and you don't mean it, or they might say something. I'm just getting like the wires being crossed in regards to communication. For some of you, there might be someone you care deeply for, and for some reason you're not really talking, or they're not communicative. There's some issue with speaking to each other. That's a big thing. Now, for another portion of you, this could represent somebody where it's like when they're in your life, they're in your life. They ain't going nowhere. So that could be a good thing for some of you. Like with the Lovers, Eight of Wands in reverse, this energy doesn't feel flighty. So it's like, okay, yeah, maybe there are some things that popped up. Maybe there are some issues, but it's like, but maybe I just need to give it time. Like they're not going nowhere. Like in the big picture, this energy is not going nowhere. But yeah, I would watch out for the tension, the miscommunications, or not even speaking to someone you care deeply for with the Eight of Wands in reverse. And notice we're adding more fire to the mix. Okay, so like the volatile, explosive energy, we're going to keep moving. We're not going to harp on it. It is what it is. I mean, sometimes the Eight of Wands in reverse could represent somebody coming back in too. So for a portion of you, you might reconnect with someone you haven't heard from in a while. Very possible. So a few messages there. Let's keep moving. Let's see what the Six of Wands has, because I really want to get over to that 9. That's the one that's like peeking out at me, because I'm like, yeah, we'll work with this other energy. But let's see why the Six of Wands is here. Tons and tons of fiery energy. How's the 6 here? Thank you. Okay. So I don't want to say this could be fear of the unknown, and notice now we have repeating 8s underneath. We have the Eight of Wands, now we have the 8 of Swords. This could be an energy that is quite tense. So this could be someone that feels like, all right, I need to hold myself to a certain standard. I need something to go this exact way. It's somebody like really putting their hopes into something and like really holding themselves to it, which isn't a bad thing. Sometimes anxiety and stress can be used as fuel. So keep that in mind. Like if you're going through a time right now, whatever area of life it's in, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling stressed, you might just need to get that energy out or use it for fuel to move things forward. Because the Eight of Wands, sometimes it does feel a little trapped. The good thing about this energy, now notice air, so still all fire, all air showing up in this spread. It could be someone overthinking things. Like, so watch out for pessimism. Don't get too pessimistic in your mindset. But I do feel this could be reassuring for some of you, where Spirit's like, listen, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be okay. Don't stress it too much. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Because remember, I said that here in the beginning too. So watch out for overthinking or overcomplicating things when this card shows up. But again, I also feel like using your energy or using the energy for fuel somehow. So take that for what it's worth. And again, whether it's for creative means, whether it's for, physical activity, it's like I need to use this energy. So let's move over to the 9 of Wands. Decent. I mean, not the easiest energy here up front, but it's workable. The only thing that has me on edge is all the fire and air. So some of you, like, the results may vary with situations where it's a little unpredictable. But let's see what the 9 has. Let's see what that's about. Because yeah, this energy, especially with 8 of Swords, 9 of Wands, it's very pent up for some reason. But let's go in on the 9. Where's the 9 here, please? Thank you. Okay. So this could most definitely be somebody psyching themselves out with the star in reverse. Okay, like someone who's thinking way too far into the future, like someone thinking years and years down the line. So I feel like that could be a pitfall for some Cancerians in this time. It's like, yeah, you know, they always say, oh, live in the present, like a lot of spiritual gurus say, which I do believe. But I mean, sometimes we need to think into the past. Sometimes we need to think into the future. It's all about balancing it. So try your best not to live too far into the future when I see this energy. Now, I will say this. This could be about I don't want to say expecting, it's more like accepting that, you know what, life ebbs and flows. There's always going to be things that pop up. You're going to have good seasons, you're going to have rough seasons. When I see the Nine of Wands with the Star in reverse, I do feel like this could be an explosive situation because, again, this is air. Even though this person's carrying water, that's Aquarius, right? So we have Gemini, air, we have Aquarius, air. Eight of Swords, air, the rest is fire. So watch out for explosive situations popping up where it's like, okay, well, everything seemed to be going smooth. Where the hell did this come from? But again, it doesn't have to be bad. Try your best to live in the present at this time. Okay, with all the pent up stress-based type of energy, it's like I'm psyching myself out. I'm overthinking this for whatever reason. So I feel like that's the cautionary tale. But you know, I'm not saying there's always going to be a disaster coming down the road, but the ebbs and flows of life, right? There's going to be situations that catch you off guard. There's going to be situations that flare up. We're seeing it throughout the whole entire reading. And it's like we have a mixture. We have good and we have rough. It's all here. The Star in reverse could sometimes be someone where they're getting a little too pessimistic. Not trying to judge anyone, not calling anyone out. The Star in reverse could also feel like lack of hope, like, oh, this isn't going anywhere. So I would try to curb those thought processes in this time. So it's like we have a mixture of stuff, but I would just watch out in this time for situations that are explosive and either flare up out of nowhere or pop up out of nowhere. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Elementally, this is way different than what I've been seeing for you in recent weeks, aside from last week with the Tower. But it's a mixed bag. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the Lovers with the Eight of Wands in reverse. So watch out for miscommunications with people that you're very close with. You know, whether it's just saying something without thinking about it or misspeaking something. I'm getting a miscommunication of some kind. For some of you, this could represent a ride or die type of person, where even if things get rough, when the going gets tough, this person, they're there. They're with you. So that could be good, but I could also get some of you not even speaking to someone right now. This could be someone popping back up. Moving into the center, we have the Six of Wands with the Eight of Swords in the upright. Someone trying to hold themselves to some sort of standard where it's like, no, I have to do this. If I don't do this, then everything else is going to crumble. Try your best not to do that. I do see you possibly using an overabundance of energy as fuel. So if you're anxious, if you're on edge, if you're going through some things, this energy, it's like, I'm going to use that for a good purpose. I'm going to channel that into something productive. Okay, so whether it's like working out physically or creatively. Moving to the back end, we have the Nine of Wands with the Star in reverse. Doesn't quite feel like a rejection, but it does tell me like, yeah, there could be some explosive situations popping up, similar to the miscommunication on the front, things that just flare up out of nowhere or pop up out of nowhere. But that's part of the ebbs and flows of life, right? Like things, they come and go, they ebb and flow, wax and wane, right? It's all over nature even. For some of you, just try to stay hopeful and don't look too far into the future if possible. So yeah, please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They can be a good thing. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get your shadow card out. What's going on? From Cancer. Nice and quick. There we go. Thank you. Okay, we do have the Eight of Cups. So a lot of eights showing up in your reading. So we have the 2 8s in the main part of the spread. Now, even in the shadows, we have the Eight of Cups. Now, this card could be represented in a lot of different ways. I always say that, yeah, it's neutral, but it's someone making moves, it's someone taking an action. Now, for some Cancers, watch out for issues with abandonment. For some of you, might be certain things where you might want to give up on it, like, oh, is this worth the pressure? Is this worth the nonsense? Like the Eight of Cups sometimes is walking away. So that's something to watch out for in this time. It could even be a shot in the arm from Spirit saying, oh, listen, Cancer, don't give up. Don't give up on this. Like, it's okay. So I feel like it can be good, but yeah, in the rough sense, it could also be feelings of abandonment being triggered for whatever reason. So You take it however it hits for you. I mean, if you're making moves, if you're switching things up, this can be seen as a good thing. But yeah, Cancer, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the April subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me and get a little further insight into your situation, you can check out my digital calendar on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The April calendar is up, so feel free to go check it out and book. But for the April subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies, not 2, of one of my favorite decks of all time, the Gilded Tarot Royale. It's a gorgeous deck and it works fantastic. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, if you could pick one tarot card to best describe you, which one would it be? Are you the Empress? Are you the High Priestess? Are you the Emperor, the Moon, the Sun? You put your answer down in the comments, you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.